Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 71 based on novel. So let's start. Elder Zhu took Xiao Yan and the three of them out of the inconspicuous passage, and what appeared in front of him was an extremely luxurious house. In the defense, there are extremely exquisite decorations, and some tables gaps are readily available, and the most attractive is the woman in the house. Several adults, please wait a moment, the person who will receive you will be here soon. A sweet voice also appeared in the house slowly. After taking a closer look, it turned out to be a woman in uniform. A woman's uniform highlights her bumpy figure, even if she is a certain age, the flavor still remains. However, when the woman in uniform looked at Mu Yingying, there was a trace of envy in her beautiful eyes, which also flashed from the bottom of her heart. Because Mu Yingying is also wearing a colorful dress, but she is different. Although the two have extremely rare eyebrows, and the two are extremely slender, they are not the same. Mu Yingying is an indescribable beauty, as if she was born with a fairy. She is not tainted by the world, and the uniformed woman reveals a wildness all over her body, and at a glance, you can tell that she has been in such a place all year round. Although there was a little bit of envy, the determination to subdue the woman was fleeting, and the next moment was full of smiles. Immediately, he came to Zhu Lao's side, and then slightly raised the tea on the table with both hands, brewing tea for Zhu Lao, and said slowly, "Recently, the royal family of Shenling and the Medusa family are in a stalemate. How long will my king be leading the strong to fight against the Medusa family? I don't know why a few adults came here." The woman in uniform also said slowly, "Of course, some secret messages to Elder Zhu were inevitable. Little baby, it's better for you to know less. You go down." Elder Zhu also said slowly. Bang. The woman in uniform heard the words, and the tea set in her hand shattered instantly, because she felt an extremely powerful fluctuation from the voice of the old man just now. Even the depths of the soul are filled with fear from the bottom of my heart. This is an unprecedented event, and the uniformed woman also knows that this time, it seems that compared to those small shrimps in the past, it is undoubtedly a big mountain. This must be a big man. I'm sorry. The woman's concentration and eyesight did not show any displeasure. She quickly packed up the broken tea set, and then slowly left the house. Shameless. Mu Yingying also said in a low voice the moment she subdued the woman and went out. Obviously, with Mu Yingying's temperament, she is also quite disgusted by this kind of woman. This woman is really... Mu Feng also shook his head. Obviously, he has dealt with ghosts all year round, and he has little research on people, but what the uniformed woman Mingli Aolai showed before was almost the kind of filth. Transactions in general. This woman's identity should not be low here. And looking at the familiar technique and tone of voice just now, if you didn't have some background, you wouldn't be here for so long. Xiao Yan also said thoughtfully, obviously what the subdued woman just did. Xiao Yan also relied on the powerful I found some clues with the soul power of ordinary people. Old Zhu also turned his eyes slightly, and it was obvious that the three people's minds were also in his sight. Bang bang bang. Just as the woman in uniform walked out with her front feet, she walked in a man. The man has a thin face and a gentle suit. Ha ha. In the younger generation, when Zi, the national teacher of the royal family, came to receive the disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion and Lord Zhu on behalf of my king. Isn't it the person who is most important to King Shenling, Wen Zi? Why didn't King Shenling come? Elder Zhu also asked slightly. Lord Bamboo doesn't know that the Medusa family's offensive has been extremely violent recently. Our Shenling royal family has suffered heavy losses in order to resist the attack of the next Medusa family. Therefore, in order to suppress this Medusa's arrogance, My king has already decided to send troops to attack the Medusa family, so I'm also planning a battle plan now. That's why my king didn't come in person, so please forgive me, Lord Zhu. Wenzi also smiled slowly, and put the feather fan back gently. Never mind. Then let's go. Zhu Lao didn't ask too much, and then said. After all, in the grievances between the Medusa family and the Shenling royal family, even Elder Zhu would not interfere too much. Everyone, please. Wenzi also made a please gesture in front of him and then smiled. When the 4 elders of Zhu Lao took the lead in walking, Wenzi also hurriedly followed, but Wenzi's eyes never left Mu Yingying's body, but Wenzi was very obscure, and was not discovered by Zhu Lao. Why is this woman's aura somewhat familiar? I don't remember when I met. Wenzi said slowly in his heart, thinking to no avail, and then followed closely. The group of 5 also came out of the resting room, and then appeared in the street. This is the most prosperous street in Shenling City, and the entrance to Shenling Emperor Pond is at the end of this road. Wenzi also smiled slowly. When Xiao Yang and the others heard the words, they were walking on the bustling street together. This Shenling City is really as lively as ever. Elder Zhu also looked at the youthful young man beside him, and his heart was inevitably touched, and then smiled. Lord Zhu doesn't know, this is the place with the most people in Shenling City. I'm afraid even the burning incense pavilion where you are located is not as crowded. But the two are not of the same type. The burning incense pavilion you are in, Lord Zhu, focuses on talent cultivation, while our Shenling royal family pays more attention to inheriting and guarding this vast territory. Wenzi also said slightly elegantly. Maybe. Old Zhu didn't say anything after he finished speaking. As for Xiao Yang and the others, they also followed old Zhu and didn't say anything. When Wenzi saw this, he didn't speak, and focused on leading the way. After all, there was a long distance between Shenling City and the Shenling imperial family. Damn incense pavilion. This time, I went specifically to pick up those few people. I didn't expect that I wouldn't be able to return the chicken. A figure with a rather ugly face also slowly stood on the street and said. If I were to meet the people from your burning incense pavilion, I would definitely let out a bad breath. After the man finished speaking, he was also walking around the lively street, but he didn't know that this person was approaching Xiao Yang and the others. This person is the 6th prince, Duhe. The reason why Duhe presumptuously went to the Fenxiang pavilion to pick up the disciples was to increase his chances of being intimate with his father, and secondly, it was also for the future throne. His father, King Shenling, had been in this position for 100 years, and it was time to replace him, so Duhe was so impatient. But where did Duhe think that the strong man in the Fenxiang pavilion was like a cloud, and if he went this time, if his father hadn't shot, he would have been terrified of his fate, because Duhe also found out forcibly that the one who shot the incense pavilion was not defeating the god of war, just wants to kill him. But fortunately, with his father's shot, although he was defeated and fled in the end, he could see that his father didn't mean to blame him. But that's how it was, Duhe was eager to make contributions. Xiao Yang followed behind Zhu Lao and Wenzi. Although there were no ripples in his eyes, Xiao Yang was extremely shocked in his heart. The Shenling royal family is located in the middle of Shentian-san, and it has been attacked the most by the Medusa clan. Moreover, in the depths of Shenling City, most of the human beings who took refuge in the Shenling royal family, attached to them, and lived in Shenling City. As for the Shenling royal family, it is also located in the depths of Shenling City. Xiao Yang was not idle along the way. The huge soul force was constantly covering him. From the moment he first entered the gate of Shenling City, Xiao Yang was doing this. Because according to the guess of his master, the Golden Dragon King, it is very likely that this holy flame is in the royal family of Shenling. Exactly where it is unknown. Don't underestimate this Shenling city, a big city with a radius of almost 1,000 miles. In addition to the area occupied by the Shenling royal family, the area occupied is absolutely terrifying. So if you search blindly, you will undoubtedly be looking for a needle in a haystack. That's why Xiao Yan kept releasing his soul power along the way. Strangeness. This profound spirit city extends in all directions. Although I vaguely sense some extremely powerful and obscure auras, there is no familiar holy flame aura in this profound spirit city. Xiao Yang also shook his head. Xingyang is the same as Yihua, they are both inborn things. So the aura of Xingyang is similar to that of Yihua, so Xiao Yang dared to guess. He, you're there when you walk in front. Wenzi also smiled slowly, leading the 4 old Zhu Lao along the way. Naturally, some dramatic things happened in the middle. After all, Wenzi's status in the Shenling royal family was second only to King Shenling. Immediately, many people with discerning eyes in Shenling city saw that the 4 elders of Zhu Lao were respectfully led by this Wenzi, and they also showed a look of thinking. People. But nothing unpleasant happened. I'll take care of something, please wait for me, everyone. A young man with a contemplative face also appeared slowly, and then he was a little anxious behind Wenzi. Wenzi also seemed to have found something to deal with, so he was also with Zhu Lao, said hello in advance, and then took the young man slowly away from Zhu Lao some distance. The two were talking in a low voice. As for Xiao Yang and the others, they also stood there and waited. It's really bad luck. I was scolded by my father instead of going to Burning Incense Pavilion. Going to find my little lover, he's not here either. It really me off. Duhe also said viciously in the street. Prince, calm down, it's outside, it's indecent. The entourage who accompanied Duhe to the Burning Incense Pavilion also hurriedly said. Now is a great opportunity for these descendants of King Shenling to perform. So there must be no blemish at all, otherwise once the right of inheritance is denied by King Shenling. I know. It's really annoying. Duhe also said slowly, and then he ignored the follower, thought straight, and walked forward. Isn't that Master Wenzi? Could it be that I am blinded? The attendant also saw a man holding a feather fan not far away, and then slowly murmured. The next moment, the attendant also hurriedly chased after him. Boom. With a slight collision, Duhe only felt that he had hit an indestructible copper wall and an iron wall, and his arm was hit with slight pain. Don't have eyes. Do you know who you bumped into? A domineering roar also slowly came out of Duhe's mouth. Duhe was already angry enough today, but he didn't expect to come out to relax and meet some ignorant people who dared to contradict him. This time, it's a good time to let out the bad anger. Duhe also glanced at the person who hit him, an old man with a thin and yellow face. There was no fluctuation of vindictiveness all over his body, and he looked like a soft persimmon. You hit me, tell me, how to compensate. The next moment, Duhe also thought of something funny. The anger disappeared without a trace, replaced by a smile. Xiao Yang also saw this Duhe just now. He knew that Duhe was a member of the Shenling royal family, but he dared to go to their Burning Incense Pavilion to make trouble. This was the first time. Although he failed in the end, Xiao Yang was also knowing that this Duhe is actually the 6th prince of the Shenling royal family. This status is a bit incredible. Hey, let rang. The entourage beside Duhe was also rushing to the runway, but more and more people were watching, and Duhe's entourage was also drowned in the sea of people. Cough, cough. Xiao Yang also coughed, and the next moment he wanted to step forward to clear the siege, but he was blocked by old Zhu with a wave of his hand. It's okay. Elder Zhu said lightly. How do you want to pay? Elder Zhu also said slowly. I don't want much. Look, you hit me first. My clothes are extremely expensive. Even if you pay 1,000 gold coins. Duhe also said slowly, his voice full of jokes. Isn't this a clear robbery? It's really going downhill. Wait, I think this person is a bit like Duhe, the sixth prince of the Shenling royal family. Did you say? A series of Dangjuansi words were also passed around, but it was also obvious that on such a bustling street, as long as there was a little bit of excitement, a large number of people who liked to watch the excitement would gather round. Oh, don't say. It's really Duhe, the sixth prince of the Shenling royal family. The onlookers also recognized Duhe and said immediately. Hey, what's going on? Dignified sixth prince, Duhe, was bullying others. Just your clothes are worth 1,000 gold coins. I don't think a gold coin is worth it. In the crowd, a person who is not afraid of the identity of the sixth prince also said. Old man, it's okay, this is a shameless child in front of you, what he said can't be taken as true. The figure who spoke earlier also said slowly. 1,000 gold coins, one more and one less. Otherwise, take it with you to the royal family. Duhe also said angrily. But when Duhe's eyes caught sight of the person who bumped into him, there was a trance deep in his soul, as if the old man had seen it himself. But Duhe couldn't remember where he saw it. After all, in the burning incense pavilion, the distance between old Zhu and Duhe was too far away. With Duhe's eyesight, he naturally couldn't remember what old Zhu looked like, so it was understandable for this situation. A very important reason why Duhe is so angry is that more and more people are watching, and his reputation in this Shenling city is not very good. The most important thing is, it was the old man who bumped into him. If this matter were exposed, then Duhe would not be able to eat and walk around, and that was the reason why Duhe hurriedly freed himself. Damn it. This old man is actually. Something's happened now. The area code mix next to Duhe passed through the crowd, and then saw Xiao Yan and a few others, but when his eyes caught sight of Zhu Lao, his pupils also shrank violently. Stand up. You old man, I'll go down the steps for you, don't be ignorant. Duhe also snorted coldly, then said. Although Duhe pretended to be calm, more and more people watched, and he felt guilty. I have hard bones. Zhu Lao also said slowly, but his voice was surprisingly loud, and many people around him heard this Zhu Lao's voice. This sound is. Wenzi, who was not far away, also seemed to have found something, and then suddenly raised his head and looked at the previous location of the old Zhu. You go back first, and I will tell you in detail when I finish dealing with the matter here. In addition, we brought those two people to the entrance of the underground palace to wait for us. I hope there won't be any trouble. Wenzi also said to the young man in front of him, and after finishing speaking, he quickly walked towards the place where the old Zhu and the others were. He, Master National Teacher is here. There's a good show to watch now. Some people around were also booing, and immediately gave way, and then let Wenzi slowly walk to the middle. This kid knows bad things. When Wenzi saw Duhe for the first time, he said fiercely in his heart. Wenzi walked into the arena. Duhe and Zhu Lao were at the very center, obviously the parties involved, but Wenzi didn't ask anything, he just said to Duhe. Apologize to your lord. An angry voice also roared at Duhe. But it's obviously him. Duhe was also unwilling and hurriedly defended. Isn't that shameful enough? Wenzi also snorted coldly, then stopped looking at Duhe. Turning his head to look at old bamboo in front of him, the original sternness was gone, replaced by a smile on his face. Sir, isn't this kid causing trouble? Wenzi also slowly glared at Duhe, who was beside him, and then said respectfully to old Zhu. I didn't cause trouble, but it just hit me straight, and slandered that I hit him first. Hey, this Shenling royal family is really chilling. Zhu Lao also said, and after speaking, he also made a painful expression, which caused many people around to boo and curse Duhe. I've long heard that these 6 princes are ignorant and incompetent all day long, and they bully young girls from a good family. Now they're actually bullying an old man. That's right. I don't know why King Shenling condones such a waste. Duan sigh words kept coming out of the crowd of onlookers. Why are you standing still? Kneel down and apologize to the seniors. Wenzi also saw that Duhe didn't mean to act at all, and then opened his mouth and said, Humph. Wenzi, don't think you can point fingers at me if you are a national teacher. I don't. Duhe also snorted coldly and said, You brought it on yourself. Wenzi also watched more and more people onlookers, and immediately took action. I saw Wenzi's phantom-like movement, and the next moment, he also suddenly appeared behind Duhe, then raised his foot slightly, and kicked Duhe's ankle viciously. Ah! With a scream, Duhe didn't even have time to find out what it was like before he knelt down with a pop. It's just a junior, it's just a simple lesson. Let's go. Elder Zhu also said slowly, and then walked towards the depths of Shenling city without looking back. When Xiao Yan and the others heard this, they also secretly admired this old Zhu. The 6th prince, Duhe, obviously went to their burning incense pavilion to try to cause trouble before, and he simply failed. However, on the territory of the Shenling royal family, using their own people to slap their own prince in the face was extremely pleasant. After all, the burning incense pavilion is extremely protective. Xiao Yang and the others also laughed, and then slowly followed. 6th Prince Duhe. Do it yourself. On behalf of the royal family, I am officially warning you that you are not qualified to read anything. Wenzi also said slowly, and then followed. The group of 5 also disappeared from everyone's sight. The rest is that Duhe's eyes showed despair. This time, it seems to have provoked someone who shouldn't be provoked. Because Duhe knows that the Shenling royal family really counts, except for his father, Shenling King, this Wenzi is also hard to chase after a word. If Wenzi said so, then he will lose his qualification to run for the next heir. Lost all escape routes. What are the details of the 4 of them, and how could this master Wenzi treat them like this? Some sharp-eyed people also noticed the attitude of the master Wenzi towards the 4 people, and immediately became contemplative. When the matter was over, the onlookers also dispersed one after another, leaving only Duhe and the entourage standing there blankly. I'm not reconciled. Duhe also shouted in the sky, and then said blankly. Wenzi's words undoubtedly put Duhe into the cold palace. In the future, the Shenling royal family will not reward him with any resources, or he is not qualified to participate in any other matters. In this case, this Duhe is also a prince in name only. 6th Prince, let's go. This matter needs to be discussed in the long run. The attendant also pondered. Let's go. Duhe also knew that this was not a place for discussion, so he also left here and headed for his residence. Ha ha, I made a few people laugh. Wenzi also apologized to old Zhu. After all, the character and status of the 6th prince were really not very good, and if they were discarded, they would be discarded. It's all right, let's do the big thing first. Elder Zhu also said. The 5 people walked on the street, slowly heading towards the depths of Shenling city. By the way, I heard that there will be a large-scale auction organized in Shenling city in a few months. Zhu Lao also seemed to remember something and then said. He, if the adults are interested, you can come and participate at that time. There will be a lot of strange things in this auction. Wenzi also laughed. He, I'll definitely go there then. By the way, bring these little guys to see the world. Zhu Lao said slowly, and then he no longer hesitated, and walked out first. Auction. Xiao Yan's eyes also murmured and became extremely hot. If even a strong man like this old Zhu Lao is interested in an auction, then the auction items are extremely precious. The alchemist said that the most fertile profession, not to mention a high-level pharmacist like Xiao Yang, it is no exaggeration. There is still more than a month before the auction. At this time, you should soak the Shenling Emperor pond properly. Elder Zhu also said. What the Lord said is very true. Everyone, please come with me. Wenzi also agreed, and the next moment, Wenzi also led a few people towards a very dazzling place, where the guards are extremely tight. There are hundreds of soldiers guarding it, and there are some powerful people sitting in the town. Looking up, there seemed to be some extremely attractive large characters standing slowly. Xiao Yang and the others also stood under the steps, and after stepping on the steps, they entered the entrance of the hall. That is. Xiao Yang also murmured and raised his head, and then a rather majestic hall appeared slowly, and two big characters in the hall that attracted attention slowly appeared. Underground Palace. Mu Feng also whispered, but the surprise in his voice could not be concealed. It's actually an underground palace. Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly when he saw those two words. Because my master, the Golden Dragon King, told me impressively. The last time I saw Yang Kai back then was in this underground palace. That Yang Kai was naturally a holy flame, so Xiao Yang was also so surprised. Look at the surprise of the two of you. What exactly is this underground palace? Mu Yingying also found out what was wrong with Xiao Yang and Mu Feng, and immediately said. The underground palace is the largest place in the entire Shenling royal family. It contains all the heritage and treasures of the Shenling royal family, but it is a treasure in the true sense. Countless people and thieves patronize this place, so the guards of this underground palace are extremely strict. Mu Feng also spoke slowly. I don't know why this person brought us here. Xian Santian has often rumored that the guards of the underground palace, even the powerhouses at the peak of Dodi, have to be weighed. Mu Feng also said. This underground palace actually has such a history. Mu Yingying also turned her beautiful eyes slightly, then stared into the depths of the underground palace, trying to find out, but strangely, she didn't find anything even though she was allowed to probe. It is rumored that this Shenling Emperor Pond has various magical effects, but its geographical location is unknown. Could it be in this underground palace? Xiao Yang also stared at the hall marked with the word, underground palace, and an immature idea slowly formed in his mind. As for the holy flame, we should wait until there is a chance to talk about it. After all, this is the territory of the Shenling royal family. The next moment, Xiao Yang also looked at Wenzi next to him and stayed outside the underground palace, without saying hello to these guards at all, as if he was waiting for someone. Elder Zhu also squinted leisurely. Xiao Yang's dark brown pupils also moved slightly, and then he made up his mind. The next moment, an invisible soul force also spread towards the underground palace, trying to find out. Just when Xiao Yang's soul power was just shot, Wenzi also suddenly discovered it, then turned around, glanced at Xiao Yang, and seemed to whisper, why is this kid's soul power so terrifying? With Elder Zhu around, Xiao Yang naturally wouldn't be afraid of Wenzi, so he boldly released his soul power. However, when Xiao Yang was quite relaxed, his soul force was suddenly swallowed by an inexplicable powerful force, just after arriving at the gate of the underground palace. The next moment, that inexplicable power also seemed to have discovered something, and then rushed towards Xiao Yang. Not good. Xiao Yang also secretly shouted in his heart. It seems that he underestimated the defense level of this underground palace, but at this time it was useless to do other things. So he had to bite the bullet and take this attack. Go. Just when Xiao Yan was shocked, the squinting old Zhu Lao also said slowly, and the inexplicable invisible force was shaken away by Zhu Lao. Damn. Wen Zi also scolded secretly. If the old Zhu didn't make a move just now, the attack alone could injure the man with the heavy feet on his back, and he might save an entry. The qualifications of the Shenling Emperor Pond. Xiao Yan also looked at old Zhu with grateful eyes, and the next moment he put away his small movements, but he muttered, "Strange, why is there no flame breath? It stands to reason that if the holy flame is there, the surrounding temperature will also be extremely hot. Ha ha, it's finally here." Wen Zi also hurriedly changed the subject. I saw another place, and the figures of the two were also slowly coming towards the place where Wen Zi and the others were. Taking a closer look, it was impressive that the two were of the same age as Xiao Yang. One is tall and the other is short. I know they are quite commensurate. The tall one was a man. He probably estimated that he should have a height of 2 meters. However, apart from being tall, the man's muscles were also extremely thin. Bone was the best description. As for the other short one, it was a woman, who was the exact opposite of the tall but thin man. This woman is very short. She seems to be only about 1 meter 3, but the strange thing is that the fat all over her body is very plump. "Hello, Mr. National Teacher." The woman's voice, with a hint of anger, also slowly appeared behind Wen Zi. However, when Xiao Yang appeared in the two of them a long time ago, he felt the difference between the two, so he also paid attention to it. Surprisingly, Xiao Yang found that the extremely serious expressions of many soldiers patrolling in the underground palace also changed conspicuously when they saw these two people. It was clearly showing goodwill to the two of them. "Ha ha, you guys came just in time." Wen Zi also waved his feather fan gently, and then said to the two of them, "It was ordered by the teacher, but luckily I caught up." The man also spoke slowly. The relationship between the man and the woman is obviously very good, because from beginning to end, the two of them never let go of their hands. "Are these two the favored sons of your Shenling royal family?" Elder Zhu also said slowly. There was a rare surprise in his voice. "Ha ha, yes, these two are exactly the people we entered the Shenling Imperial Pond this time. With the 3 of you, there are 5 people in total." Wen Zi also said. "Ha ha, the bones of these two are amazed. Obviously, their achievements in the future are quite large." Elder Zhu said slowly. "Your Excellency is humble. The 3 disciples in your cabinet are also very good, and they will surely become powerful people in the future." Wen Zi also smiled, but he was quite happy about what this big man said. After all, the 2 people in front of him have such appearances except for the special reason of the practice. Otherwise, they are the real geniuses of the Shenling royal family. "Since we're all here, let's go," Wen Zi also said with a smile. The 2 people in front of them are the geniuses of their Shenling royal family. As for their height and appearance, it is also related to the exercises they practice, so it can only be the case. "Let's go, 3 little fellows," Elder Zhu said slowly, and then he stepped out. "Remember to keep your soul power and spiritual power. This underground palace is no better than our burning incense pavilion." The next moment, just as Zhu Lao was walking, a voice also reached Xiao Yang's mind. When Xiao Yang heard this, he also nodded to Elder Zhu secretly, but then he muttered in his heart, "It seems that the secrets of this underground palace will only be more than I imagined." This video will end here.